Welcome to another episode of Basketball Saved My Life. I'm your host, the Easy Button.
Antoine the Don.
And we have a very special guest in here for y'all today, my man Neelon Greenwood, a.k.a. Officer Neelon,
a.k.a. Sacramento Boys.
Oh, man, what's going on,
Sacktown in the building, right?
Just living life.
I
can't complain at all, just living.
Man, so speaking of living, no, we ain't gonna get into it that quick.
We here right now.
So, man, talk to us. For the people that don't know, where are you from?
Originally from California, Sacramento area. Born
Sacktown
and raised.
boys.
Family still out there. When I saw your area code at one time, I said, "Ooh, you from Sacramento too?" Yeah, we can relate.
Found out we went to the same junior college.
Everything.
Was just ducking each other.
Small world. But yeah, born and raised. Family still out that way. I'm really the only one out in Oklahoma.
Wow. Well, that was a question that I had for you way down the line.
Right.
So since you brought it up, how'd you get to Oklahoma?
Man, so my journey started playing basketball, running track. The only reason I got to track was because my basketball coach in high school was like, you know what, all the basketball players have to run track to stay conditioned year round. So I'm like, man, I'm not trying to run no track. I got asthma. I'm not trying to be out here like that. And so I'm like, okay, as long as
I never would have known you had asthma.
Right, the way he galloped down the court.
I'm talking about inhalers and everything.
Nuh-uh.
Oh yeah, it was
So
real.
you be secretly puffing when we hooping? Like,
Nah,
you go to the bathroom and take a puff of your inhaler?
I don't go as hard no more, and so I know how to shut it off before I get to that point.
Gotcha. That's why he be leaving 40 minutes in.
Right.
No.
Galloping
Just
down
kidding.
the court.
I'll be having to go to work, but
Right.
yeah, like so my basketball coach was like, hey, everybody, this is what we have to do. You want to be on the team, you got to go play run track. So I'm like, okay, don't put me on no 4x4 team.
Right.
Don't put me on anything
No
crazy.
800s.
Nah. So he was like, okay, be a jumper, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me see what this high jump's talking about. High jump go. I'm doing the form. Boom, land on my neck. I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't do that at all.
Your neck long, too.
Yeah,
That had to
I'm not the only one at the track meets wearing a helmet. I'm not,
It ain't gonna work.
I'm not gonna be that guy, right? I'm not gonna be that guy. So I'm like, okay. He was like,
My man's over here dying.
I said, I can't wear no helmet. I said, I can't be the
Bro,
only
that's
one.
the first, bro.
Hey,
I ain't never done that. I ain't never done that, bro.
That's
You got
tough.
that little back thing?
That's
You land
tough.
right here that one time? You said,
Dude.
man.
Hey, it took me back, but the first time I tried to do a backflip off my
Yeah.
mama couch,
Yeah.
landed straight on my
For
neck.
sure.
I ain't never tried a backflip.
It scars you, right?
Since, bro.
Yeah, so think that's supposed to be your main event. Like, I can't be out there because I'm scared. You do it once, you got to do it again.
You ain't doing it again.
Unless you just like wake up one day like I got this. Like, nah, I was not that guy. So he was like, okay, try a long jump. Try in California we got triple jump, right? They don't teach it in
I
Oklahoma.
love triple jump.
Triple jump is not an Oklahoma thing. So I was like, okay. So my brother's on the squad. I'm on a squad, and so we doing track practice, right? And so I start jumping, doing a long jump. I say, oh shoot, I'm decent in this.
all right.
I'm not bad in this.
Right.
And so I start getting into track meets, and now I think, granted, I'm a sophomore in high school on varsity track, winning. Like I'm over here. Like,
What school you at?
I'm at Fairfield High. Fairfield High.
Yeah.
And it's something you didn't even want to do.
Not at all. Not at all. And even there, I still didn't want to do it. I hate going to track practice. I hated warming up. I hated everything about running. I hate everything.
But you like winning.
Well, I like winning.
Yeah.
I like the atmosphere, the vibe. Track is an individual sport.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those deals where you don't have to worry. Man, yeah, at the end of the day, you want your team to win. But if you win it, you did your job, right?
Right.
Like that your next person is not going to make you jump bad. It's good.
Right.
You're the only person to make yourself jump bad. So
It's
I'm
all
like,
on you.
it's all on you. So it all depends on how you approach that day. So
like that.
it's one of those deals where I'm like, okay, this might get me somewhere. This might. If I'm not going to college straight out of here, somebody's gonna be looking at me, right?
Sure.
And so even though I love basketball was my thing. They called myself and my brother the Twin Towers. We were
Yeah,
both
how tall
longest-
is he?
Same height as me.
Oh,
long
dang.
and lanky too. So
Cheat code.
we never actually played on the same team together. The year that he moved out he graduated. That's when I went to varsity. So we never actually in high school never got to play together. But it was one of those deals where they knew that I was his brother because, like I said, we looked the same. We played the same. Like I'm not out there about to score 30 on you, but I'll get 10 blocks.
Right.
And
easily.
So I'll go get 8 rebounds.
I hated that time when you blocked me off the glass that one time.
Exactly.
I hated you forever.
So like it's one of those deals where I knew my role. Like
Right.
my role's not out there to try to get you 25 points. But if I get you some steals, some blocks, and maybe a dunk or two to get the crowd into
Or
it,
5.
That's all we need, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those deals where I went in there starter, Fairfield High. We talking about. I feel like when we was playing against some grown men compared to what I see now.
For real.
I'm talking about dudes with facial hair. They wearing 230, which I'm like. They
Probably
look,
got tats and gold.
Exactly. They got kids. I'm like, I'm like we playing different. Like we playing against grown men out here. Like you lose, they about to see you at the end of the game. Like they're waiting for you type stuff. So that's when like Federation. I'm not sure you know the Federation.
You know Federation. All
that's
them.
when you
Go
don't know
dumb,
about
hyphy movement. You don't know about
Nothing
that.
about that. Here go the West Coast thing again.
I feel
Mac
that's
Dre, that's a
man.
whole era.
And so the thing about it, the Federation came to our halftime game. Ooh, well, that game was
But yeah,
live.
you was low key in the Bay. You was in Fairfield.
For sure. So that halftime show was live. You hear it in the locker room. Everybody going stupid outside.
But you can't be out there.
You can't be out there. You got to focus. You got to focus, right? And so I'm like, ooh, let me get back out there. I'm going dumb in the locker room.
Hey,
trying to get back
so
out
that was
there.
the movement.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
the movement.
Exactly. So like I said, basketball, it was there. It was fun. But then track, I was like, okay, I'm good in track. Let me see where it's going to take me. I didn't go straight to a 4-year out of high school. I went to a junior college route.
Well, did you play both sports though all through high school?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Well, not even all through because it was my sophomore year in high school where they told us we had to run track.
Okay.
And so I really started. I mean,
so
basically,
from then on, you did
from
finish.
then on, yeah. But like I said, that's that same attitude with track. I'm like, I'm doing it because I'm forced to do it.
Right.
I'm not doing it because I wanted to be out there.
Right.
But then that was probably the best decision my coach ever made for me. And so it's one of those deals
Shout
where
out to Coach.
Oh yeah, Coach Wilson, Eddie. One of those deals where I listened and I took what he saw
guidance,
in us. Even though we didn't see it, because my main focus is basketball. I'm trying to go to the league. Exactly. I mean, everybody. I want to go to the league. I want to play overseas. I want to make money doing this.
For sure.
And it's tough. I mean, don't get me wrong. People do it all day long.
Right.
But if you don't got it, you got to figure out what your plan B is. And you got to figure out what your plan C is, because plan B normally don't work either. So it's one of those deals where I had that attitude knowing that I didn't want my parents to pay for my college. And so it's either going to be in basketball or it's going to be in track.
At least you knew about college. I didn't even know about college like that and then end up in debt. So shout out to you for knowing that and having that approach.
It was just a goal. I mean, one of those deals where I see them working hard, and I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't have both parents in my life. I didn't have hardworking parents. I didn't live in a nice house. We was at Disneyland every year.
Right.
And it was one of those deals where I wanted to do the same stuff that I do that my parents did for me, I want to do for my kids.
Facts.
And so I was like, the only way to do that, I got to set myself up. I'm not going to be over here riding this hoop dream or this track dream all my life, not having no income coming in, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm like, okay, I see my parents doing it. We at Disneyland, we at Las Vegas every year. I'm like, where that money come from, right? But they making it happen.
They
making it happen. So I'm like, okay, whatever they're doing.
Two-parent household.
Strong. Real strong, like I said, and that's rare. That's very rare. I came out here and people don't have that. And so
I'm back home, that's still rare. Even back home,
sure.
Keep it
sure.
Solid,
so I was like, okay, I got to reward them for giving me so much, giving my brother so much, right? Giving my sister so much. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want them to have to struggle trying to figure out how to pay for my student loans or how to pay for my housing wherever I go. And so I'm like, okay, I'm about to go 110% in everything I do. And I wasn't a student athlete. I was an athlete student. I'll be the first one to tell you, I felt PE.
Hold on. Did you not dress out? That's all you got to do to pass PE.
I can tell you right now, Neelon must have been the class clown. He must have been with the hype crowd.
He just took a swig. Get into it then.
What happened was my basketball coach was also a PE teacher, right? So I would dress out. But he wasn't my PE. He was my PE teacher, so I would just go mess with him and with his class every day. Marked absent, Because I would be there.
You just went to the wrong PE class.
Exactly. I'm over here. I'm doing the same thing.
You should have got a schedule change. I'm a counselor now. You need to find I should have been your counselor then.
Man, they wasn't even trying to tell me until that report card came. And it said,
your coach ain't even know? Like, you over here all day.
I mean, he's not going to tell me to leave. He don't see my grade then and there. But when that grade came, my mom saw that. She said, PE?
Rap City.
I said, that's the only F? I'm hoping that's the only F on there. I'm like, that's the only one. I'm all right.
I'm okay.
Nah, it's an F in that, D in English, D in math. I said, ooh, I'm not going to make it. I said, I can't flunk high school, right?
Oh, man.
First off, I'm too tall, so I can't be in the same grade with the new guys coming in. I'm like extra tall compared to them.
Boy, they gonna hate you.
So as a track person, what made you pick ARC? Like, why didn't you go to like Sac City or nothing like that?
No, I went to Sac City.
You went to Sac City?
I went to Sac City.
So you didn't go to AR at all?
AR, they recruited me.
Okay.
They recruited me heavy. And so
pretend like the viewers don't know what y'all talking about. What is ARC in Sac City?
So ARC is American River College,
American
right?
River College.
And so that's a junior college.
That's the one I went to.
And so I went to Sacramento City College. This is the rival.
So you did go to City.
Yeah, I went to City. And so ARC, that's a short name for it. They was recruiting me heavy out of high school. Come do this, come do that. This is what I'm going to set you up with. I mean, it's a junior college. It's not going to be a big name college, right? Yeah. But then they're winning. They're going to put you in a position to be around other four-year colleges. So
I take it junior college was the route because of high school grades?
High school grades, SATs were a struggle with that, and really just kind of making sure.
What are we looking at SAT-wise?
I don't remember the scores.
I had a 900.
Is that high or low?
No, that's mediocre.
If you had a 900, I'm probably 8 then.
I think that's mediocre because
you get a certain amount for putting your name on it, don't you?
That's like 100 points. I heard or something.
I heard it was more than that. So
we're old, just to let you guys know. So come on, let's take our timeline by.
I took the test. I didn't study for it.
Like I said,
I just went in and I took it because I heard it's something you had to do to get into college.
Right.
Like I knew nothing, bro.
I took it a couple times. I think I took it at a bingo hall one time. I took it at the school one time. But like I said, I was an athlete student.
For sure.
I was not a student athlete,
and you're not the only one.
And so that student athlete clicked when I got to college. But like I said, back at Sac City, I was still doing both sports, doing basketball, running track. I'm like, okay, I'm about to make it in basketball. I'm good. I mean, I'm getting a lot of D2 offers. But then I'm doing a track. I'm winning state in track. I'm number 1 in the state. I'm beating everybody.
Killing.
So I'm like,
sound like it was
dang it. It wasn't though. Still to the very end. I had my sophomore year in junior college. My track coach came to me. He was like, you know what? We need to either focus on one sport or the other. We can't focus on basketball and track if you want to get to the next level. So I'm like, ooh. Like I've been playing basketball all my life, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to play basketball in college. I wanted to play basketball overseas, do something. But for me to have to give that up, that was tough. But he saw something in me that was like, okay, I could get you here, but you got to believe into it.
30-second timeout. So you gave up on basketball in high school?
In junior college.
In junior college.
My senior year, my sophomore year in junior college, gave it up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tough.
That's twice though. Coaches gave you a good path to figure out what.
Oh, for sure. I would have never been in Oklahoma if it wasn't for that. Never would have been.
So then, segue right into our next question. And so, how'd you get to Oklahoma?
So I had all kind of offers. I'm not trying to brag it or anything, but I'm talking about I went to Texas Tech on a visit. I went to University of Texas. I came to Oklahoma. I went to Stanford. So you're only allowed so many visits when you go, so many official visits, right?
Right.
And so, like I said, I went to Stanford because I was close to home, but I'm like, again, I'm an athlete student. I can't be maintaining a 3-point GPA and then also try to be good in track.
Right.
Because
so Stanford was out.
My mind's not there. I'm like, it's going to look good on my resume.
Yeah.
But I'm like, their standards are high at Stanford.
What was it?
It was just demanding as far as the schedule they're putting me on, and like you had so many hours this first year to make sure you can balance school and track and traveling, because you travel a lot. Because in track you have an indoor season and an outdoor season.
I didn't know this.
Year round. Year-round.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so you're constantly on the road doing something.
Who knew that track was year-round?
Man, it's time-consuming. It hurts your body. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a job when you get to the college level.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're performing well because they'll just send you back home, and the next recruit, they'll get your spot quick.
Seamless.
Oh, easy. They'll look at you in your face. They'll send me a text and say, you know what? You're not doing what you got to do. Pack up, go.
Did you see that happen to somebody?
Yeah. It's one of those deals where they don't tell you then and there, but they're not going to be back the next season.
Right.
And you know that's.
And you know what time it is.
You know what time it is. Because at the end of the day, the coach got to provide for their family, right? That's their job on the line.
That's their job.
And so I get it. It's a job from the time you wake up to whenever you go to bed. But you're at study hall, you're taking classes, you're practicing, you're eating. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I was a lot bigger in college because I was on that schedule of weight training like twice a day, and then actual track practice.
Swole Neelon. I need to send me a picture of Swole Neelon.
I was still lanky. Don't get me wrong. I was still lanky. I had earrings in and everything.
Yeah.
I remember that picture. But like I said, it's just a job that people don't realize that it's not just that event that in that moment. It takes a lot.
Much
to get
different
you there.
than high school.
Much different. I had times I'm like, I want to send me back home. I can't be doing all this.
Yeah.
Waking up, and like I said, once you get to the college level, they focus on what you're good at. They're not going to put me on a relay team because they're not paying me to be on a relay team.
Right. So with you getting all these recruits, were you still only doing long jump?
I was doing long and triple jump.
Anything?
I was doing both.
Triple jump.
Yeah, I was doing both. And so me being a dual athlete when it comes to two sports, knowing that they only give you a scholarship if you can score points in their state competition.
Okay.
They're not going to just give anybody a scholarship.
So you got multiple points that you can score.
Exactly. They saw the potential. I mean, me winning it out there in California, I was like, okay, you come out here, we can make something happen. But then I got out here, started going to get some Texas boys. That's a whole different ball game. They breed Texas boys different. And so just going against them, and I used to go against them all the time. Every track meet, we'll be all the same group every time. So I'm like, golly, I got to see him.
I should have chose Texas.
Yeah. Golly, man. But it was fun while it lasted. Got to travel a lot. I never wore anything of my personal gear. I mean, I was always in OU, Nike, shoes, everything. I said never dress up. Just be in sweats and just whatever they gave me, I would wear.
That's tight.
And so just going through this process, a lot of people don't go through that process. Even though I wasn't a basketball player, a football player, which Oklahoma is known for, and in gymnastics too, because our gymnastics team at OU is
fire.
raw. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those deals where, like I said, the clothes that you see, the only way that you get it is if you go to Ross or somebody. So you're not getting the same stuff we wear that year. And so just be able to walk around with my head high, knowing
Find
that
it in the thrift store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people see me, they don't say their first thing is like, oh, you run track for OU. Nah, you play basketball, you run track.
Right.
And so I usually switch it up. Like, oh, no, I play golf.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I'm on a swim team.
Yeah, shoot, all can be true.
Yeah, you're right. So it's
I would love to see you swimming, long ass arms.
Hey, I got recruited for water polo, not in college, but in high school, they wanted me to be the goalie.
I bet they did, because he's so big.
I said, I can't tread no water. I said, I can swim to survive. I can't swim to play, though.
That's hard.
I said, there's no way.
Did you think or try to get on the basketball team?
I did.
Try to walk on, maybe?
Did. My mom, man, she put in work to try to get me a walk on with the OU squad. That's when the Blake Griffin era and Cade and all them were there.
Right.
And so I was warming up for it. I was getting ready, getting basketball shape ready. At this time, my track scholarship was done. And so, like I said, if I would have got hurt, then nobody sent me back home. I'm already done. I'm already on a scholarship. I'm going to finish out my year. So I had one year left of academic ability. And so my mom was like calling the coach, sending them tapes of me playing in high school, me playing in college. And the coach was like, come show me what you got.
Right.
And so I was at the Huff heavy, like that the couple weeks before that.
Getting
ready, right? Because I used to be the Huff killer out there. I used to be
jumps though.
Man, we used to be there till midnight. Now, I don't know how it is now.
I've never been, so it ain't jumping. Because if it was jumping, I would have been there.
It used to be.
That's what I'm saying. Now it ain't jumping because no one talks about it. I would have been there already.
No, we used to be
There's
in
a
there.
lot of young cats now in there.
Yeah,
too.
young cats, and then a lot of people you get hurt out there real easy now, which I did before my walk on tryout. So I was in the Huff, went for a dunk, what I normally do. I mean, I'm over here feeling good, came down, pop. I'm like, okay, I'm not hurting, but when I walk, I can feel something. Like, I'm like, okay, this is not good, but let me like kind of run it out a little bit. And so I'm like, nothing, like my leg is not loose. Like, I'm like, okay, like people with ACLs, like they instantly like, oh, I'm hurt. They know instantly. I'm like, I mean, I can feel something, but I guess, let me finish this game out and just kind of sit the next one out.
Right.
And so with that, I'm like, okay, let me sit this next one out. I go down a bend, and when I'm sitting down, my knee just like slides over. I said, woo. Shoot. And so my first reaction is to grab my knee, and I pushed it back, and it slides back in place.
Oh, my
And so I'm
God.
like, I might be good. Like, I'm over here thinking like, okay, that wasn't supposed to
Iron
happen.
Man, dude.
I'm not crying. I'm not in pain. I'm like, that's not right. And so, like I said, I've never torn my meniscus or my ACL before or anything, but I'm like, usually if somebody tears something, I
hate hearing about injuries because it's so visual for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And so I'm like, okay, let me just go home because I'm done for the day. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And so I'm going home. I'm walking up. At that time, I'm living in my apartment complex. I'm walking up my steps, and my knees slide out again. I'm like, but I'm not like, I don't fall to the ground. I just like, oh, what the heck? So I'm able to like stretch out like this and then pop back in, and like I'm good. Like I'm not feeling too much more pain. And so I'm like, at that time, I'm also working at Best Buy too. And so I'm working at Best Buy because they had the employee discount was on point.
On
point. So I'm like, I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm not in it for the
You
money.
still got the plug down there? I need that.
I hope not.
I need a 60. I need a 60 inch.
Oh man, I hope nobody's still working at Best Buy. If you're there, you a lifer.
Yeah.
But I'm working inventory, right? And so I'm having to put the washer and dryer on the top shelf.
Oh damn.
And so I'm like, I'm doing this all day long. This is what I do. I go to lift it and push, pop out again. I said, I got to do something about this. And so since I'm not on track scholarship anymore, I can't go run back to the track doctor and like my knee's messed up. Because they're gonna be like, you're out of luck. You didn't do it while you're running track or at track practice. I can't do nothing for you.
Right.
And so at that time, I'm still back on my parents' insurance. So I fly back home to California, and go to Kaiser out there, and it was like, Kaiser, right? And so I'm like, my knee's doing this. My last little situation popped out when I was at work, and it was like, okay, MRI, torn meniscus. I said, okay, like, what do we do from here? Do I just wrap it up and go? It's like, oh no, you're gonna need surgery for that. I said, dang it. And so I'm like, so my whole basketball dream is done. I'm over focused more now on my knee and now on plan B. Like, what am I going to do now? At that time, I'm not thinking about police work. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm thinking about, okay, now I'm not about to play sports. How can I benefit? How can I make sure my family's okay? I don't have kids at this time, but I'm going to eventually have kids.
Right.
I'm going to eventually have a wife.
That's the plan.
And so, like, okay, now I'm not going to get healed and then go try out for the basketball team again. I mean, I can. That's what a lot of people do. But what if that happens to me again? And so I have my surgery in California. They ship me back to Oklahoma. I'm healed up. I'm doing good. I'm back training. Tear it again. I'm like,
Same one.
And so I'm like, I'm done now. I got to figure this out. Ship me back to California, have another surgery. At this time,
How long did it take you for it to happen again?
It was about a solid maybe 8 months.
So that was like right out of.
Yeah, right out of, because I rushed back. I rushed back thinking that I was good.
That's what we do.
Rushed back thinking that, okay, I'm about to be good. Tear it again. So they ship me back to California. At this point, they have technology now. They take a piece of your tissue out to grow, and then they put it back in years later. They called me already saying, let me come put this back in. I'm like, that's another surgery I'm not trying to be going through right now. Like, I'm good. I'm not bone on bone right now with my knee. Let me just figure this out.
I should have done that because I had a knee surgery or knee procedure, and they offered me that, and I was just like, what?
No, you gotta take that just to make sure.
Well, we should have had this show then, so I could have known. Cause that's too late for me.
Yeah. So they was like, yeah, we can't put this back in. But I'm like, nah, we're gonna hold out on that. So fly out to California, have a surgery, get back on the airplane. You ever be on an airplane when in like a full leg cast? Man,
bro.
And I'm already long too, so
that's a
no first class ticket. They look at me when I'm doing the little crunches to the little table, it was like, oh no, you got to come to first class. You can't be out there, especially when they come with the drinks down the aisle.
They showed love.
They show love. To be
that's
honest with
fire.
you, they always show love to me when I go to the airport because I walk in. I'm 6'6",
right?
And so even though I'm not big, I'm 6'6", long and lanky. So it's one of those deals where they were like,
I just didn't make the cut, bro. Like, because I don't never get off.
You ever ask?
Nah.
You gotta ask. Because nowadays they charge for everything.
Right.
They charge for anything you think of. If you ask, like, is there any seats open? They'll make a way. Especially if they're not selling those seats. But anyway, that's a whole different. I'm not trying to give you tips.
Shoot.
I'm not trying to give you tips on my airplane.
Too late. I've already got them. So you get the first class. Go ahead.
I get the first class, and so I'm not having to worry about the people coming with the drinks or with the food entrees or anything. None of that. And so it's one of those deals where I get on the airplane, I go to sleep. I'm like, I got to take my time with this one. I got to make sure I rehab. But at this time, I got to make sure I want to set my life up. And so that's when I start thinking, okay, my mom, she's a code enforcement officer in California, meaning that she goes around, gives parking tickets. She goes around making sure houses are clean. She does all kind of community stuff that she's asked to do. Mm-hmm. My brother at that time, he works in the jail, and so he's a jailer. He's not quite a sheriff yet, so he's out there, around inmates, and so I'm like...
What jail he at?
Cleveland, not Cleveland, that's out here. Solano County.
Solano.
Yeah, Solano County. Mm-hmm. You been there or something?
He went back
nothing on my rap sheet. Worry about my rap sheet.
Oh, don't tell the fans. Don't tell the fans.
They need to know.
Oh, man.
So I'm thinking, okay.
So it's in the bloodline.
It's in the blood, right? And so my mom, she's doing all kind of community events and stuff. Wait.
My fault. Here you go.
So I'm like, I'm always around it. I've been on a couple ride-alongs, and so I'm like, I can do this police thing, but I don't want to go that police route. Let me be a firefighter, right? And so I'm like,
you did that first?
I tried to.
Okay.
I tried to.
Run it then. I'm tuned in.
And so I'm over here trying to be a firefighter, and that position, if you're a firefighter, you could be a firefighter for life. You're in there for 35, 40 years.
Easy.
Because you're really not doing much.
Right.
Keep it 100.
Really, to be honest with you, especially out here in Oklahoma, they get a fire, they get excited because it don't come that often, right?
Right.
No. I'm not just trying to bash firefighters. It's a great career.
Speaking
it's a good place to be a firefighter. What it sounds like.
It is. Saying, like, don't get me wrong. I love the firefighters here in Norman. They're awesome.
Carl, shout out my man Carl.
Oh, yeah, you need to get Carl on here.
Big Carl.
Big Carl. Shout out my man Carl.
Hey, but like I said, I wanted to be a firefighter, but I got to that firefighter test. I'm like, I don't know what that tool is because you got to name all kind of tools. I didn't do no type of studying for that test. I'm about to go in thinking that, okay, I know how to wrap a hose up. I know how to slide down a pole.
Pour water on the fire.
I'm fast. I'm strong.
I know how to use a fire extinguisher. You just sweep.
Right.
Pull and sweep. So I'm like, okay, I got this. But I saw that test. I said, I've never seen that tool in my life. I have no idea what that is. And so I fell out of that. And I'm like, and then with that, you got to be EMT certified, CPR, which I'm CPR certified.
Right.
Golly.
Being CPR certified, that's easy. I don't know what EMT certified is.
It's basically because firefighters now, to be honest with you, if a medical call happens and police are involved,
First responders.
They're first responders. So they're going in there like preserving life. And so if I'm going to a call and a firefighter meets me there, I'm not going to be the one I'm going to be the one if I need to do CPR and stuff like that. But when it comes to other medical, like nurse type stuff, firefighters have that down. That's what they go to school for. And so when it comes to that, I'm like, that's more school I got to go to. I'm just trying to get my career started. I'm trying to get on this money and trying to figure out what I can do as an impact. And so I get rid of that idea. I'm like, no firefighter for me this time.
Right.
No firefighter. So I'm like, okay, let me try to be a police officer. And so I put in for the highway patrol. I make it super far in the highway patrol. But for their academy, in order for them, you have to actually live there. I want to say for like 3 months or something like that. And at this time, I had my first kid born. And so there's
Junior.
Right. He's 7 now. And so I'm like, there's no way I can leave his mom at that time with a new baby first baby, for me to be at the police academy
for 3 months.
And so I'm like, okay, I can't do that right now. Let me either put this on pause. Hopefully they want me next year or want me next try.
Right.
But they have a process too. They got to hire somebody, and so they say, you know what, just reapply. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just do that. So I apply for Norman. I applied for Moore and Norman. Norman ends up picking me up, and so ever since then, I've been with Norman since 2013, and it's been a fun ride. It's been ups and downs.
Don't even seem like it's been that long.
2013, yeah, it's been a while. So I've been going on with Norman for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So it's been one of the best decisions I've made, I think, especially now me being in the schools.
They love you in the schools.
Hey, I try to have that impact. It's different. I think me going in there not knowing what the situation was going to be. 'Cause I'm thinking I'm going to go in there, I'm about to be having to tell these kids, you know what, stop disrespecting. But other than me doing that, going in there with the badge on, I went in there as a regular person.
Right.
I went in there and said, okay, I see you're acting up, but why you're acting
right.
up?
You went in there as a shoulder
exactly.
to cry on, an ear to listen.
Exactly. And I went in there, even with my partner, I told her, I'm like, okay, we have to figure out what these kids' stories are.
Right.
These kids are not with both parents. They're probably working jobs. I mean, they got tough lives.
Man,
and if you're going in there so ready to put handcuffs on somebody or so quick to get them in trouble with the law, you're going in there with the wrong intention.
For those that don't know, what Neelon's referring to is a school resource officer, and they're in the school to make sure, you know, that people are safe, but at the same time, they're, you know, supporting the kids, supporting the staff. And so shout out to him for doing that. Shout out to Sergeant Shelby, you know, Officer Antoine, Officer Perry. Those are the ones that I've gotten to know personally. So, yeah, back to what you were saying.
It's one of those deals where you don't just get put in that position. You have to actually interview for it. You have to actually want it. And so you get those officers that are in other states that kind of is a retirement gig. You can't have those officers that are doing it for retirement, just to kind of get them past through the last 5 years. You got to actually have somebody in there that's motivated, somebody in there that wants to make a change, and you got to have some diversity in there too.
Right.
Because it's so easy to see a white officer, because that's all you see.
Right.
When you see a black officer, that's different.
That's great.
That's different, right? And so just to show them that there can be black officers, and you'll be surprised. I mean, we talk about it all day long. There's no black people in law enforcement. There's no black people doing this, and this. But in reality, they're not applying.
Right. But they're afraid to apply. I mean, I'm a school counselor. We've mentioned that. And I've had kids come up to me and ask me if I was the PE teacher, you know, if I was a PE coach, you know, what did I coach? And I'm a basketball coach, but they couldn't even think to ask me if I was a school counselor.
Yeah.
That was the furthest question from their mind.
Wow.
You know, and there isn't a school counselor uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
So it ain't like, boom, he walks on site, oh, he's a school counselor.
Exactly.
You know, but that's why I love the fact that you have that and you wear it with honor.
For sure.
And you make us look good.
I mean, I try to. I definitely try to. I take pride in what I do. And so I don't do it just to get a paycheck. I don't do it just to do my 8 hours and go home. I do it to make sure I make a difference every single day. And if it's with the same kid, it's with the same kid. I know one incident when I went in there, kid was real bad too. I'm cussing me out.
Oh yeah.
And so I was more impressed on how bad he was than anything. I'm like, golly, like you doing this even not around your friends. Like this is real.
This is you.
When you don't do it around your friends, this is you. Like this is how you are.
For sure.
And so he was like, I took him to a room. He was like, take your badge off. We could throw hands right now. I said, really? I said, and you doing that with not around your friends? So like you over here about to challenge me. I said, that's what we're doing. Like you about to see me every day. And so I'm like, I told my partner, I'm like, I got this. Like, let me handle this, because you get more police officers in a person's face, more adults in a kid's face. They get more defensive, right? And so I'm like, you know what? Let's just clear the room. If you hear me yell for help, that means he's on my head, right? Come in here immediately.
Come save me, because I can't do nothing to this kid.
This plan did not work, right? Yeah. So he was like, yeah, take your badge off, and we could throw down right now. So I was like, you know what? took my badge like this, took it off, put it on the table. I said, this could go either way. I say, he can really hop on my head right now, or he can say, okay, he's different. Like he's not about to back down to me once off, and he's not gonna actually be aggressive towards me either.
Right.
And I want to show him I'm the same person with that badge on.
Than without the
badge, right?
Yeah.
If you see me at Walmart out of uniform, I'm the same guy in Walmart with the uniform on.
Boy, thank goodness, because when I first met you and we was hooping and I didn't know you was an officer, and then I found out you was an officer, I was like, oh man, I didn't know what to think, bro.
And that's what you get. People think you got to act different. I'm the same person.
You are the same person. Shout out to you.
And so that's what you have to portray to these kids, especially really to anybody, that you're the same person with it. But don't get me wrong. There's some officers that uniform gives them that extra bit of courage, and those are the ones
we gonna get into that.
Those are the ones that we're probably gonna talk about today.
That
and so.
power.
It's one of those deals where you take this position and you make it however you want to make it. You set your own destiny, right? And so my whole thing, I didn't come in being a police officer wanting to take everybody to jail.
Right.
That first year, I mean, for practice, I mean, you want to get your feet wet. You want to be that gun-ho officer. You want to go serve warrants. You want to go pull every car over. I grew out of that quick. I'm not.
What made you grow out of that?
Just knowing that you're not making a difference, because that person's going to be speeding next week, right? That person's still going to have that warrant if I don't pull him over. So it's just, why am I taking that dad away from their family over a fishing license warrant, right? It's like something small. Don't get me wrong. People that deserve to go to jail deserve to go to jail.
For sure.
I'm not going to just let anybody just walk
But
away
that ain't why
from
you
it.
waking up every day.
I'm not waking up to do that, right? If it comes to me, it comes to me. But I'm not going to go out my way to go find it. And so it's one of those deals where I believe in, if you did something wrong, it's going to come back to hunt you eventually. And I'm not going to be the guy to go find you. You're going to find yourself and figure out you're in a bad situation.
Right.
So me doing that, I was on night shift, so I'm over here, getting into fights. I'm doing this. I'm that officer. This is what I signed up to be. I'm over here having fun, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, going home,
taking a job as it comes.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, what did I accomplish tonight besides taking somebody to jail over some nonsense, where I could have just said, you know what, you have a buddy here, go home, instead of I'm putting you in handcuffs. Oh, that's a bean for me. That's a number for me.
Right.
I get to go brag about it with my other police buddies, right? And so it's one of those deals where you start thinking, how can you make the biggest impact? How can you make, because at the end of the day, I was living in Norman too. You're going to eventually see the same person in Walmart.
You will see.
Norman
ain't that big.
It's not that big, right?
Or, anywhere really, but especially Norman.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, I've arrested people and they come see me at Walmart and be like, thank you. Like, I deserve to go to jail, because you had that positive interaction.
Right.
You're not
a jerk.
Exactly. You're not doing more than what's needed to be done. And so you just got to make sure, because usually if I'm out, I'm with my family. And so last thing I want to do is get approached by somebody that I arrested and I made upset, and now they got me naked, basically, with nothing on, no weapon on me or anything. Now I'm with my family. And so
that brings more people
exactly. And so, like I said, if you have that positive interaction while you're arresting them, making them realize this is what I'm arresting you for, and making realize that you deserve to go to jail. I mean, a lot of people, unless you're
I don't get no satisfaction out of this.
No, not at all. Not at all. And so it's just, you got to think about what's your calling in life. Like how can you make your biggest difference? And that's why I wanted to go back into the high school, because that's our future. And so it's one of those deals where if you don't educate them and only let the news educate them, only let the hate that their parents are educating them with.
Right. And they're doing the best they have.
They are.
From their personal knowledge, and sometimes it's not enough.
It's not. They're not able to make their own decision. I listen to my parents, and so whatever they say goes, right?
And that was the gospel.
Exactly. You're not
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. But now, you get kids talking back to their parents left and right. That's what I'm like. I would never cuss at my parents like that.
Right,
yeah.
At all.
But like I said, I just wanted to go in there and let them know that there's another side of the story. There's not just what you see on the news. And so is there bad cops out there? Are there racist cops out there? Yes.
Speaking of the news,
Uh-oh.
you got a question for him?
Uh-oh.
You talk about the positives of being a black cop. So how much negatives have you had to deal with being a black cop? I know you're in a school setting, so I'm sure during school setting, probably not as much.
No, I get it all the time. Uncle Tom, sellout, all
Not
that.
the Uncle Tom.
All that. I'm like, I'm making money.
Right.
I'm over here trying to make a difference. Like,
Right.
you can call me whatever you want to, but I got a career. I can say I can retire in a 20-year span and be good.
sure.
So like I said, they call me all they want because they don't know what I'm doing. They don't know what my passion is. They don't know why I wear the badge. They just think I'm about to go over there and well, really not me, but they think the white officer is going to go arrest the black person or go arrest the just harassed black people. And so they see me like, oh, since I'm a police officer, I'm one of them.
For sure.
And that's tough. That's the toughest thing, is not realizing that we're all individuals. We all do our separate thing. It's like saying that, say you run a stop sign or something. Now your whole family is known for running stop signs.
Right.
That's not accurate, right? Like,
It's not accurate.
It's not. And so just saying that.
I don't run stop signs, by the way. So gotta put that. Put that out there.
So I mean, it's just breaking that mindset that, okay, yeah, we all are brothers in blue or whatever, but we're all different. We're all different.
This is the number one question that I have when I see what's going on in the news and the brutality, the murders. What type of formal training are these guys getting, or you guys getting, why they don't make better decisions, or why they make certain decisions? Like, just what kind of training goes into that? You know, like.
So let me just set this straight. There's no officer that I've talked to will say that last deal that we just had with the guy on the neck,
George Floyd,
was right. There's no officer saying that guy did not kill George.
Right.
There's no officer that's going to make that argument. The training, but let's talk about the situation since we're here. I already know what time it is.
Let's do it.
So,
it's that time.
It's you got to think. Okay, we have the Asian fellow that's in the front. Then you have the three that are on George, right?
Right.
And so you get to a point where we're trained to de-escalate the situation quickly, crowd control, and just really to the necessary point. They took it to a point where it didn't need to go.
It was long de-escalated.
Oh, for sure. So you got to think. Now,
I mean, I didn't watch the video. Did it ever escalate? I couldn't bring myself to watch the video.
It never did. They had him in handcuffs, and he was on the ground, and he was crying for help. And so it's one of those deals where nobody. That's why I would say everybody in that video is wrong, because nobody took a second to breathe and figure out, okay, maybe I need to set this guy up. Maybe why not de-escalate by removing him from the situation and putting him in a patrol car, or let's just sit him up and see, okay, if he starts acting squirrely again, then you got to do what you got to do and put him back on the ground. But they were caught in what we call an OODA loop, right? So it's a tunnel where you're not seeing left or right, you're just sitting straight. So the guy in the front, the crowd control guy, his main job is to make sure his partners in the back are safe. That's why he's like, hey, nobody, don't come through me. My job is to make sure nobody's coming through me. I'm crowd control. Yeah, you can say whatever you say, because we get that all the time.
Right.
But he looked back quite a bit and saw that guy at a point where he could have been removed or could have been put up, and he never made that call. And so that's why I would say all four of the officers are in the wrong, because nobody took the time to say, you know what? Oh, shoot, this guy is getting to a point where we need to get him up, get him breathing again, because they were on him for too long.
What gets officers in an OODA loop, or whatever it's called?
So say you get into, well, I don't want to say you, but you get into an officer-involved shooting. Now all of a sudden you forget all your training. You forget, oh, shoot, okay, I know my gun's right here, and I point in that direction and they can shoot. But then what if my gun jams? And we train constantly, like rack, tap, put it back in, right? So we racking. When you get into it in that moment, you just forget everything. that's when you got to really rely on your training, because in Norman we go through so many scenarios, so many chances where they're shooting back at us with pellet guns. We're going through dark spaces. I mean, they're trying to make us like real time. This is gonna happen, not when, or it's gonna happen eventually. And so it's really just relying on your training, relying on, okay, you're not in that situation now.
Relying on your character too, sounds
for sure,
like.
For sure. I mean, you just got to make sure that everybody, nobody there on that call had each other's back. Everybody there had an opportunity to say, we need to de-escalate. And that's a tough situation. Very tough situation. I'm not gonna argue one bit that was great tactics. Not at all. Not at all. That guy should not be dead right now. Not at all. And so just with that incident alone, also brought out a lot of racist people, in my opinion. You start seeing your white friends or any other besides black friends start posting stuff on Facebook of all the looting and all this negativity, all the thugs and everything. That's when you got to start realizing, I don't know.
Who's who?
I don't know who. I mean, he's only pointing out the negative.
Right.
He's not posting the black guy hugging the officer, right?
I'll be the first to say, I posted about the looting because at first I thought it was just like all the other times where we destroy our own communities.
Oh, for sure.
You know, now I still don't support looting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I will never support looting. But after seeing that it wasn't just destroying your own community and knowing that this thing has boiled over for a long time, you know, you can name them, Ferguson, you know, you can name them. I don't,
for sure,
you know, it's heavy for me to try to go through all of that, right? But after seeing it, I'm like, okay, I was wrong. It's not about the looting. You know, it's really about them feeling powerless, and this is the only expression. This is the only expression.
I see where you're coming from on that. Just hearing the voices and hearing just the cry for help when everybody's talking on the news, just the yell like we need change now. But
right.
It's not the first time this happened though.
Exactly.
This has been we've been having protests like this when my parents were our age. So it's one of those deals where that's not working. The looting, the yelling, the beating up innocent people, it's not working, right? What Target didn't kill that guy.
Right.
That pizza shop didn't kill that guy.
Right.
Officers in Oklahoma didn't kill that guy, but you'll be quick to go burn down a police car out here, but then be so quick next week to say, I need help.
Right.
And that's where us as officers are like, you were just bashing us yesterday, but today you really need us. I mean, yeah, we're going to go do our job, but then we can't be off and on like that. How come you guys are?
Right.
And I run through so many situations where I'm the greatest hero alive when I give you a warning when your tag's expired for 3 months. Right?
Mine was 6 months one time, boy.
Exactly. But then
I got to keep my car. Ain't it supposed to be impounded?
Yeah, for sure.
I got lucky.
Yeah. And so you save the day when that happens, but then something happens in a different state. Now all police officers are bad again. And so it's tough. I would say if you want to make a change, a difference, it's not by looting. It's not by destroying your community at all. I mean,
that's not the only thing going on, though. There are peaceful protesting.
A lot of,
I don't know if it goes to saying all officers are bad. I think it just brings up the old situations that officers have been in, because there's been situations in Oklahoma where officers have killed people too. So I mean, I just think it brings back, you know, obviously of what has happened in these other states too. So I don't think it's just off of one. I think it just brings back of everything else that's been going on with the whole situation.
For sure. But then my argument is, okay, for those that are so ready to make a change, make a difference, what are you doing?
Right.
Have you ever been on a ride along with the police officer?
Right.
Have you ever actually go and do your research on what kind of training is happening? Because there could be a lot of lack of training. And if you bring it to light, then they have to go start doing training. And so, like I said, if you want to make a difference, instead of going around with bricks in your hand, go to the police department and go talk to somebody.
I'm going to be the first to tell you, that's not going to happen. Only because, again, when I first met you, Mike Stamp, love you guys. I really do. Yeah. I look up to you guys, and you've met my son. He loves you.
For sure.
And that's still weird to me, bro. Like, that's weird to me because I'm like, I still get squirrely around y'all because that's how I was programmed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was programmed to be so afraid of y'all. you know, I had an instance, man, like, you look, I ain't got no tattoos. I'm probably the only people I hang with, one of the only people I hang with without any tattoos, because I was 17 one time, riding, got pulled over. I had my homie he had dreads, you know what I'm saying? And in Florida, you know what I'm saying, you got dreads, you rolling. I was in a Chrysler Sebring, you know, that's when, you know, it was a decent car, but it had a drop top, you know, and, you know, it's a decent car. So two young men in a nice car rolling through, you know, a neighborhood, get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? And this is just one of many instances. Long story short, I hear on the radio, Santello is a known gang member.
Oh, for sure.
I look back like,
yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I ain't no gang member. The only thing I ever gang banged was the hoop. Donkeys. Like, I gang bang in the kitchen, banging pots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't, like, for real. So once they said that, I heard on the radio, he has tattoos here, 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 and here. So he's like, can I search a car? I don't really want him to, but I'm scared now. So one's ransacking through the car. My man's is on the curb. I'm up against the car, and I'm being harassed, you know, like aggressively, searching my body for tattoos. Luckily, I didn't have not one letter on my body. It probably would have gone worse than what it did that night.
For sure,
You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I'm my heart beating fast just thinking about that instance, you know.
And so, put a bad taste in your mouth.
Put a bad taste. I mean, that's one of many, right?
For sure.
And so, luckily, I didn't have no tattoos. I went on, never got a tattoo. Still, you know, like me and my wife, you know, she's tried to get me to get tattoos, never, you know. And we've gotten into arguments about it. You know what I'm saying? Legal. I'm as legal as they come. Cop gets behind me, I'm hyperventilating, dude. I'm like, I'm scared.
Off tops.
I'm scared. Like, I ride with my work ID in my in my visor or whatever you want to call it. I want them to come in there and see, you know, I'm a Norman Public Schools employee. You know, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Because I'm trying to show them off rip, I'm not a threat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm digressing because I'm forgetting why I'm even bringing that up. But back to, okay, boom. I said, we're never going to be the ones to do it because we are too afraid to. I know I am. I'm going to speak for myself. I know I am. But however, I have sat with an officer before through a mutual friend, and I told him, I said, what needs to happen is the community needs to have some type of cookout powwow where, you know, it's like a carnival, you know, but it's the police officers interacting with the people. It can't be the people wanting to go interact with the police because the fear is too great, you know. But if it's like a holiday, you know, where it's like this happens every so often, and people get to know each other, people get to interact with each other, I feel like that will alleviate some of that fear. You know, like I get to be around you so much that now I'm comfortable. You know.
So my question to you is how come we haven't had it done then?
I've mentioned it to I think Carl Pendleton. That's who I sat with. I've mentioned it to Carl Pendleton, and he said it was a great idea, and that you know, it's something that we'd have to get the local businesses behind, like Andy Alligators, and have it somewhere like that, somewhere, right? That was years ago. I worked at Longfellow then. Now I'm at Norman North, so that was years ago. And, you know, like that was me trying to do that, like, you know.
I definitely hear you.
And so, but I feel like for me that would be helpful, you know. But it's just one of those things. I don't have any answers. I just know that's a step, right?
And to be honest with you, right now, I get from friends, from people on Facebook, I'm praying for you. I'm so scared you walk out of your house every day. It's a bad time we live in. I say, I thank you for praying for me, but this is the best time for me to be a police officer.
Facts.
Best time, because this is the time where I can make the biggest impact.
Major facts.
This is the time where I can educate out there,
right.
Not with my baton in my hand, not with dogs barking behind me, but with me saying, okay, how can I help? Like, what can I do on this side to bring back to at least to Norman to say we're not like that. What can I do to say, okay, I don't want you to be scared when I come approach you?
Right.
When I walk into Target or Walmart or in a mall or something, their parents be like, oh, that police officer right there is going to arrest you. You better be good.
Right.
I'm quick to tell that kid, you know what? I'm not going to arrest you.
Don't do that to me.
Because you're putting fear in that kid early.
Right.
Of a police officer.
Scared
and so
scared
I'm
of
like,
Popo.
I get on for real. For real.
For real.
And so their attitude growing up is that, oh, I better act right whenever I see a police officer because he's going to take me away.
Right.
And so I get on the parent quick. I'm like, do not teach that kid that, especially being a minority kid or any kid. Do not teach that kid that because I'm not here to take you away. I'm not here to put you in handcuffs. I'll give him a sticker. I'll go buy him something.
You.
Exactly.
Right.
I want you to be able to call me with confidence instead of calling me in fear.
Right.
When negative things happen, you see me rolling around. I'm back on the streets right now. So if you see me rolling around, I might stop at somebody playing basketball and go shoot hoops with them.
Right.
Just to gain that trust because, like you said, I mean, people are scared of police officers. They're not just seeing just the good side of it. They're seeing just negative. And just like I said, just a time right now. Put me on the front line. Put me out there talking to people because how we approach situations now, how we approach the protest, it doesn't look good when you have a line of white officers barking dogs, baton in hand slapping, riot gear.
That's trash.
That's a trigger. That's a trigger for these people.
That's trash.
For sure. And so I want to be more proactive than being reactive.
Right.
When you get reactive, that's when you're getting maced in the face. That's when you're getting thrown to the ground because now you have to react to what's going on. If you're out there being proactive, then you're actually making a difference, listening to people. You're actually saying, okay, this is what you want to happen. Let's make it happen. And that's when stuff goes right. When you're not listening and when you're just there to make sure that the scene is safe and not listening to anybody, looking straight, and they're yelling at you back and forth, why not say, you know what? I know I'm wearing a badge, but let's talk. Because that's going to de-escalate somebody else, right? And so it's just how you approach it. If you approach it wrong, you get wrong results. If you approach it correct, we figure out what's going on, we kind of move forward and figure out how can we be successful together.
What's your take on policing our own?
As far as,
like you just come out and say it. Mm-hmm. It's like sending a white officer to a black neighborhood to police them. They don't have any ties. They don't have, they don't understand the culture. Yeah. They trigger them or they just misunderstand them. What's your take on, policing black community? You're a black cop. Yeah. You police a black community.
If we do that, that's when we start dividing. That's when we start figuring out, okay, only black officers can go over there, only white officers can go over there. Not if that white officer comes over here, I don't want to talk to him because he's white.
Right.
And so if we start doing that, that's not going to bring us together. That's going to separate us. That's going to keep us one-minded. That only one set of person could talk to that same set. And so. In Norman, you're not going to get that because there's only like 5 black officers that work for Norman. That's not too many of us.
Right, and I don't believe that should be a thing, but I've heard that thrown around they shouldn't, so they shouldn't send them to, because they don't understand us, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, like you said, that divide. Yeah. However, I don't think they should be in groups policing, a minority town, neighborhood. There should be some type of buddy system where you're gonna hold me accountable, I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna thrive in areas that you're weak of. There's real partnership.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Have y'all ever discussed a buddy system? Is there such where black cop pairs with a white cop? Have you heard anything about that?
We've never done that really in Norman because that's when you start really. That would be the main focus, that you have a white and a black officer. Like we're not trying to do that.
Right.
I've been in many calls where I see it going south when that black person is talking to a white officer and it's not going anywhere. That's when I step in. I'm like, okay, let me walk you away.
That's not a terrible stigma or to have. To pair different people together.
It's not. Because you got to think. Me being a black person, it's a lot different. It's going to come across a lot different out of my mouth than what a white person is saying. And so I use that to my advantage because it's one of those deals where I can relate way better to you than this white officer is going, because it's gonna sound like it's fake. It's gonna sound like it's not compassionate. But if I come and say, I can say the exact same words he just said. You can listen to me,
and it ain't you.
It's not. And it's one of those deals where, like I said, I can use that to my advantage, and that's a main thing why I wanted to get into law enforcement, is because I have that voice. I have people that are going to actually stop and listen to me. They're going to call me Uncle Tom one day, but then I'm going to be in your face again the next day, and I'm not going to leave you alone until we figure this out.
Right.
And so just changing those mindsets is huge. I mean, that goes a long way. And that's why, like I said, me hopping into the schools was my main reason why I wanted to make a difference.
Right.
So,
man, well, I mean, I don't foresee things changing.
It's not
right now, but I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin, and I don't know where this ends. Know that rioting is not the answer, but I know peaceful protests haven't worked. They've gotten tear gassed,
Doesn't work.
And it's like what's your message? What's your message? You said, what are they doing about it? Yeah. What's your message? Is it to continue to peacefully protest? Is it to No,
my message really for everybody is just to educate yourself and not go based off what you're seeing right next to you. Not go based off what you see on media, because they have to get views, right? The news has to get views on why you want to watch my news channel. That's how I get paid. So they're going to put out all the negativity. There's a lot of positive things that goes around that doesn't get shown. And so really my biggest thing, if you're going to hate me, have your own reason to hate me other than everybody else's reason. Okay. If you're going to go in there saying that, I don't like you because that officer did something bad. No. Don't. That's unfair to me.
Right.
I didn't do that, right? I wasn't in that situation. So it's one of those deals where if you get to know me and you still dislike me, then I failed you.
And you've earned that.
I earned it, right? I can live better knowing that I tried to make an impact. He's still not hearing me. I gave him my facts, and he's still on his agenda. Okay, I can live with that. If you're going in there saying that I'm not gonna listen to you, you killed this person, you killed that person. I haven't shot anybody since I've been at the PD. I don't plan on shooting anybody.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I know, right?
You got some wood up there.
So it's just like I said, just take the time just to go your own route. Just trying to figure out what you're really doing it for. And like I said, it's bigger than what we are doing right now. It's just one of those deals where we don't have an answer. We all want to yell out, we need this, and this. But right now, we need to come together and figure it out. It's a divide. It's a divide with the police. It's a divide with the community. We have some that are coming together. But like I said, it's one of those deals where it's going to take that officer to put their big boy pants on and say, okay, I'm not going with you with my baton or dogs barking. I want to go to you one-on-one and talk to you. I want to have that conversation. And like I said, that's my biggest push is to not just go based off what you see. Go on a ride along, because officers, we get put in bad spots daily.
I believe it.
Our most dangerous thing we do is traffic stops, because you don't know who you're pulling over.
Right.
Me being on night shift, I don't know who I'm walking up on, right? And so with me walking up to a car and having my hand right here, not necessarily I have my hand on my gun, but it's close to it because I don't know what's going to pop out.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I go to a door and somebody's yelling at me talking about, get your hand off your gun. I'm like, hold up. Like, you got to put yourself in my shoes, because I don't know what I'm approaching, right?
Right.
And so I want to go back home safely to my parents. To my family at the end of the day. And so I'm not putting my hand on my gun because I'm going to shoot you. But if it gets real quick, I'm going to be quick to it.
Right.
And so it's just, you get put in that mindset, you get put in that training that you don't want to be caught being reactive all the time. You want to make sure you're ahead of the game. And so I've had calls all the time where people yelling at me, stop yelling, stop doing this, why am I sitting on the ground? Because it's for everybody's safety. Mm-hmm. You got to think, we don't put people on the ground just because we want to, because to make you dirty. We put people on the ground because it's a reaction time deal. It's going to take you a lot longer to get up and make a move. If I'm already standing up on you and you get up and make a move, I already got to jump on you, because you're for my brain to work.
That's why I've been put on a curb so many times, all innocent.
It's tactics.
Yeah.
Because because for you to get up or for you to reach something, my mind, okay, I can see you reaching for something. I can either react or I can chase you down, put you back down. It's just all tactics. It's all training. It's not. We don't do stuff because we are doing it in our head. This is stuff that we're going through in our academy. This is stuff that we're doing to make sure everybody is safe. We're going home at the end of the day. But when it comes to stupid nonsense of people dying for wrong reasons and not really relying back on their training, I don't know what they were trained back at that police academy.
Right.
Or I don't know what they go through. I know in Norman we're not trained to do that.
Right.
I know we're not putting our knee on somebody's neck.
Right.
Have I put people on the ground? Yeah. But you put them on the ground, do what you got to do, and you put them back up. I mean, you get to a point where you realize you only got to do so much. What is he continuing to be a threat? No. So now we can de-escalate situations. So it's like I said, education is key. Going on ride-alongs, I'm a huge advocate for that, just to kind of see our side of it. Even though if you're anti-cop left and right, like you say, you hate what we do, just come see what we do. Mm-hmm. Because we do a lot more positive than what you think.
Speaking of positive, one of the things that I've seen recently is the fact that some officers are protesting with the people. Is that something that you guys are being told to do? Is that just, like, what's talk to me about that.
No, because officers realize that we need change too.
Right.
It's not, we're not doing it to be fake. We're not doing it because we want to make sure you guys like us. No, we need change out there. We definitely need officers knowing what they're doing, because we're put on a pedestal because we have the power, we have the gun, we have the handcuffs, we have the ability to arrest. And so a lot of those officers need to realize that it might be too much power for some people. Me being a police officer might not be the position you need to be in, and you only realize it when it's too late. You only realize it when that person's dead and when that person's arrested for the wrong reason. And so us going with the protest or saying, yes, I agree with you, is just saying basically like you understand the frustration. You understand why you're crying for help.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just put in a position to hear you, and I want to interact with you. I want to make sure that we're on the same page to kind of figure out how we move forward.
Wow. You dropping gems right now, man. Tony, you got anything to say before we let them out of here?
That's it.
That's it?
Man, well, before I let you go, you're also a realtor.
I am.
So go ahead and plug yourself in real quick.
Well, I've been a real estate agent going on a year now. Decided that I wasn't going to be a millionaire being a police officer, right?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, what can I do? Set my retirement up. I always wanted to hop into real estate. Didn't know much into it as far as the classes or the cost and all that stuff. So last year I dedicated my time to say, you know what, I'm going to take the classes. I'm going to pay whatever I need to pay. I'm going to get this license just to have in my back pocket. I'm still going to be a police officer because I love being a police officer, but I want to make sure that I'm setting up my future. Whenever I buy a house, I want to make sure I'm not getting screwed over by my real estate agent.
And then you got shorties that you got to look after.
For sure. And like I said, I want to set my family up just how my family set me up. And so in order to do that, I got to make sure financially I'm stable. I got to make sure I'm making the right moves when it comes to everything. Like I said, and that comes into police work. That comes into me being off duty, on duty. Because people know who I am because I'm tall, I'm a police officer, I'm in Norman. Norman's not that big of a place.
Right.
And so I could walk around. I'm either known as, because I run Safety Town here in Norman, so that little kid thing over there by the mall for 5 and 6 year olds. I've been running that for the last 2 years. And so just being around kids, being at the high school games, you want to make sure you're put in a positive light. Not, that's Officer Greenwood who arrested my dad.
Right.
No, I want to be Officer Greenwood. That's the cool cop. I want to be.
Sure.
Like
That's what they believe.
Yeah, I make enemies every day. I don't wake up saying I need to make 10 friends today. I don't go out my way to be fake. You either roll with me or you roll against me, but I'm still gonna be rolling with you. And so I tell these kids every day, I don't hold grudges. If we have a bad interaction one day or 1 hour, I'm not going to have that same bad interaction with you the next hour.
Right.
Because
just
change.
moving on.
Just make a change. I don't wake up saying I need to go check your backpack for a vape every day.
Right.
If you have the vape, you know you have the vape. I'll catch you
and
eventually.
We're going to figure it out.
Exactly. And so it's just making a difference. And so I hopped into real estate. Actually been going pretty well for me.
I'm following, man. So
I'm a huge advocate. They don't make more land, and so it's one of those deals where if you can hop on land or houses,
for the people that want to get into real estate, was the test hard? Was it a lot of schooling or whatever?
If you focus, I did my schooling online. I did.
How long it takes?
It's a 6-month course, but you can take it as quick as you want to. I took the
Self-paced.
self-paced. I took the full 6 months, which is probably a bad idea because you start forgetting what's on phase 1 or 2.
Month 1.
Yeah, exactly. And so I get to the test. I'm like, ooh, I didn't. That was on month 1. I kind of forgot about that. So it took me twice to actually pass the states test. It's a little difficult, but once you pass the states test and you go hook up with the broker, you figure out who's the best fit for your schedule. If you want to do a part-time and kind of fees that you're paying monthly, and kind of just what kind of leads you get.
Right.
And so I hopped with I'm with Aria Real Estate Group here in Norman. Love them. Like I said, very helpful, and they understand that my full-time gig is being a police officer. I do real estate when I have time, and like I said, it's just one of those deals where you'll be surprised on who needs houses in your immediate friend group. You start talking about it, and then you start realizing that, oh shoot, now you want to buy a house, hook up with me, and then we can make it happen.
Right.
So it's fun, and it's one of those deals where it's a career where when I get done with police work, I'll have enough knowledge in real estate where I can do that full time and
sure.
kind of do it on my own pace and my own schedule.
What I love about it for you is the fact that in the black community, we don't pass houses down very much.
True,
like
very
that's
true.
the one thing that I want to make sure I do for my kids, because I'm struggling right now to buy a house. You know, you tried to help me, and we're gonna get to it. But
we get to it.
You know, as far as just the thinking into it goes. You know, no, there wasn't a house left for me. There wasn't a house left for my mom.
Yeah.
You know, and that's nationwide. That's the norm for us. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to get to a point where I can leave a house for my kids.
For sure.
And so you getting into real estate, you set yourself up to do that, you know. I'm sure there wasn't a house left for you.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
at
And
all.
so, but in other cultures, you know, they set their kids up with cars. You know, they get, you know, like,
for sure.
You know, so it's just, that's something that I'm real happy for you that you're going to be able to do. And that's something that is in the back of my mind that I want to do as well for my family.
So the biggest thing before we get out of here is just making sure you set yourself up early enough in your life. You don't want to be figuring out life at age 40, 50.
Right.
No knock on the ones that are at 40.
No knock. Whenever you figure it out, I'm glad you figured it out.
Exactly. But the earlier you can do it in life, the better off you're going to be when you get to that age. You don't want to be working hard at age 60.
Right.
You don't. You don't want to be bagging stuff, or you don't want to do
hauling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You want to actually be able to retire. You want to actually be able to retire and actually enjoy life. You don't want to be figuring out how I'm going to be making these bills later off in life. So the earlier you can do it. I know I used to work at a shoe store. My whole paycheck would go right back to the shoe store.
Yeah.
I would never save.
Yeah.
I remember one time on my senior field trip, I went to go buy a churro, right? Account denied. Card denied. I'm looking at my account. Negative, it's like $98.
Dang.
So I'm like, I got to put $100 in just to get to $2 in my account. Because I'm negative. So I'm like, I'm about to put in $100 just to get to a positive $2 in my account.
Yeah.
Like, ever since then, I'm like, there's no way I can set myself up like that.
For sure.
It's embarrassing. It's one of those deals.
Been there.
You just don't. Oh yeah. You just don't want to be put in that situation again. I'm not saying I'm a millionaire or anything, but you want to make sure that you're any time you don't want to have to think, okay, maybe I need to wait to do that. I need to wait a month to get that for my kid.
Right.
You want to be able to get that toy then and there.
For sure.
You want to show them what hard work looks like.
Right. You want to show them that I've earned this. I've earned the privilege to be able to support you here right now.
Exactly.
You know. Well, man, you dropped gems, man, and, you know, we all want justice for George Floyd, and, you know, we don't know how we're going to get it yet, but, you know, let's do it with a loving heart, whatever we're going to do. You know, let's do it with safety in mind. Let's do it with, with uplifting our community, and, you know, just, we got to do it with an open heart. You know, Some people are gonna hate that message. Some people are gonna love it. I really don't know what to say or what to do. I just want what everybody wants, which is justice. And we appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah,
you dropped gems.
Make sure if anybody has any questions, comment on the video, comment on anything. Reach out to one of these guys to get to me for any questions. I'm here to answer. I'm a police officer. Like I said, if you want to hear my side of the story, just come ask. I'm an open book. I'm gonna shoot you straight. Just like
don't use that one. Don't shoot
Right.
straight. Don't shoot him straight.
Don't shoot.
Hey, I love it. Great soundbite.
Oh man.
But yeah, you gonna give it to him
I'm
straight.
gonna give it to him straight. All right. We can't be doing that. So like I said, just comment below. I appreciate you guys for doing this, for giving me the opportunity to come out on the show. Like I said, it's exciting to see how this grows. I'm excited for both of you guys.
Appreciate it.
This is amazing. So, like I said, just any questions, please let me know. I can come back for a round 2 if need be.
Copy that. I'm gonna hold you to that. Twan, what you gonna say to the people before we get out of here?
Hey, man, just support your loved ones, man. This is a time where big tired.
Yeah, my man work at 5:30 in the morning.
But nah, this is a time where we do need to show love to the ones around us. So just with that being said, y'all got to hear it from Officer herself. So there you go.
It's gonna be the biggest, most views for sure.
Man, it better be. It better be, or you failed us. Man, peace, man. Appreciate you tuning in as we drop gems that we picked up in these gyms and track. Holla at your boy. One.